And now I'd like to introduce Alexandra Geddes as our special keynote speaker. Alex is the Executive Director, Programs and Innovation for the New South Wales Environment Protection Authority. She will give us an understanding of the New South Wales EPA's waste and circular economy programs and how they impact you and us and all of us. Key programs in this portfolio include Return and Earn, Food Organics and Garden Organics, and a range of programs that support stewardship, waste avoidance, resource recovery, and climate change actions. Alex's focus is on developing strong partnerships with stakeholders to drive outcomes that support the circular economy, a sustainable future, and improve human health. Please welcome our keynote speaker. Thanks.
Thank you very much, Natalia, and thank you for having me here today. So my name's Alex Geddes. I'm the Executive Director of the New South Wales EPA. I look after programs and innovation. Before I begin, I'd like to acknowledge the traditional owners of the land on which we meet today. I'd like to pay my respects to Elders past and present and extend that respect to any Aboriginal or Torres Strait Islander colleagues here in the room and also online. I'm really thrilled to be here, and I was just talking to Greg earlier. It's my first waste conference. I'm a newbie at this. I feel very much like, this is very much a family event. It's been lovely to sort of come in and to see the warmth and obviously the collegiality when everyone comes every year to this event. You can really sort of sense it walking in as a bit of a newbie here, and it's just been lovely to have conversations with many of you in the room, and I'm really looking forward to also engaging with many of you after this speech. Really keen to hear your perspectives, understand what you do, how EPA programs might help you, and what more we can do. So it really is a genuine invitation to engage with us and for us to partner with you. So I'm new to the waste space. I joined the EPA in December last year. I'm not new to the circular economy agenda. It's something that I'm incredibly passionate about. But having joined the EPA, I've spent 20 years in government. I've been working on major initiatives to support business growth and community resilience, over the last 20 years through New South Wales government programs. One of the key focuses in the role I had before this was at Service New South Wales, and that was all focused on the customer experience and how we really improve access for businesses and individuals to access government services. So that's something that I'm incredibly passionate about. It's something that is a key focus of the EPA as well, and something that we really want to continue to build on, because I think that core of partnership, of working together, of making it easier to engage with government is really critical. So that's something that is very exciting. Now, one of the things, having come from Service New South Wales, and some of you might have been part of this in the past, we had a former Minister for Digital called Victor Dominello, and every time that he attended a conference, he would do a selfie. So I'm going to try it if you're up for it. So everyone get ready and let me see if I can make this work. Okay, everyone? No, I don't want my hand in it. Okay, so waste. Excellent. Okay, job done. The social and media team will be happy. So I'm really privileged to be in this role. It's a role leading programs that are really going to drive change for the circular economy, that we've been talking about throughout this conference. So today what I'm going to talk to you about is that program of work for us to deliver on our circular economy targets and how we can partner with you in this. Now, I've forgotten to do the slides, so let me move through a couple. All right. So, as you're aware, as the state's environmental regulator, we take a stewardship approach to the work that we do. You would have heard Tony speak so passionately about stewardship. It is something that is genuinely embedded in the DNA of how the EPA works, and really the transition to circularity is really going to be dependent on collaboration, and that's really dependent on all of us working together in this room. And really what I've seen over these last number of days is that alignment in intent. You know, we all are moving towards the same goal, and it's really about sort of how we do it. So circularity really requires us to adapt our thinking and our behaviour towards resources and materials. So again, that's been a key theme throughout the sessions this week. From Costa's initial introduction, it really has been that theme of how do we move away from take, make and dispose? How do we really embrace, reuse, repurpose and recycle? So the EPA is really prioritising this transition over the next 20 years. We need everyone to be on board, everyone in this room. We need you to be the advocates, the drivers of change as we move in this together. So to meet the New South Wales 80% recovery target and deliver genuine solutions, we need to collectively excel on every metric. So we have to be better in designing out waste. We've heard about that already throughout this conference, reducing the amount that we generate. We have to improve our source separation. Procurers have to buy more recycled content and support circular economy business models, while manufacturers have to produce high quality materials that have market demand, and we are highly attuned to this need. So we're having live conversations at the moment within the EPA, which is about how do we influence and intervene at every step of the end-to-end supply chain. How do we work closely with our colleagues in New South Wales planning? How do we work with our colleagues in procurement functions? Working within government for people outside government is as much of a challenge as you might find working with us. So some of that is really important. So it really is about the EPA really leaning in and making sure that the intent that we have to meet our circularity targets are really well understood across government. So our programs then really sort of fill part of that void where we know that the market forces aren't driving the change that we need to see. So firstly, I'll talk about WASM. So the New South Wales Government's $365 million waste and sustainable materials strategy. So this strategy not only sets the long-term objectives of transitioning to a circular economy, but it's aimed at guiding industry, government and the community to circularity in a staged manner. And many of the programs that I'm going to be speaking about today are funded under the WASM umbrella. So a key piece of work that we're involved in, and we've heard a bit about it in one of the sessions this week, is the commercial and industrial waste audit. So this is an audit of C&I waste in New South Wales, and really it's one of those ways of ensuring that we've got the right data to set up our policies and our programs. It's the first C&I audit in 10 years. Coming in, I find that a bit astounding, but the fact that it shows how critical this piece of work is, getting that right data so that we've got the right data for our decision making. So in 2021-22, the New South Wales recycling rate for C&I waste was 49%. And as you know, we have a target to reach 80% recycling by 2030. So the EPA collects robust data on the total amount of waste that's landfilled, and approximately 60% of this waste is classified as mixed waste. If we're to meet our 80% target, it's vital that we know what materials constitute this waste and where it comes from. So the audit's going to be completed soon, and while it's challenging to do work like this and a long time coming, those insights are going to be invaluable. There's going to be a publicly available dashboard that's going to provide the detail of the composition of the C&I waste across all regions of New South Wales. So hopefully that is then information and a data set that you will find helpful in the work that you do. So the C&I audit sits alongside a residual waste assessment and material flow analysis, again by region, across priority waste streams. This work we're undertaking will also form key inputs into the development of the New South Wales Waste Infrastructure Plan. Some of you would have heard discussions about that yesterday, which again is going to be a critical input into how we genuinely address infrastructure gaps in this state. So you can see at the moment there's actually a really huge amount of work happening behind the scenes, these really big foundational pieces that are going to make a difference and really move to address some of these long-standing issues that I know this sector and people in this room have been talking about for many, many years. All right, CDS. Do we have our return and earn friends in the room? Tom Cleanaway? Oh, they were all in their capes last night. They looked fantastic. CDS, Return and Earn, that sits within my patch as well. This really is a showcase. Many of you know this program, but it's about how ambition for a different way of managing a waste stream can deliver circularity. The scheme has recovered over 11 billion containers to date, so that's a huge number. And it enjoys the support of 90% of New South Wales adults. Now that's, again, a startling number for me coming in new to this. More than $1.1 billion has been returned to consumers in refunds since the scheme began in 2017. It's helped soccer clubs, scouts, charities across the state, and really it's importantly changed the way that more than 80% of the community manage their container waste. It's a whole sort of behaviour change piece that just has such environmental, economic and social benefits. It really is an amazing feat. So the big advantage of the program, as many of you know, is that it separates waste materials at the point of collection, minimising contamination and generating high quality, clean material streams that are highly sought after by recyclers. It's resulted in over 1 million tonnes of materials being recovered through the scheme and put back into high-value products and packaging, which can be recycled again at end of life. This includes bottle-to-bottle recycling with up to 100% recycled content. And it really shows how clever thinking and partnership between government, industry, councils and community working together can really deliver significant outcomes. And political will, that's always important. Now, organics. So organics is another success story when it comes to circularity of a waste stream, delivering significant environmental benefits from the reduction of emissions in landfill to improvements in soil health. So as the largest waste stream going to landfill is going to be key to successfully delivering on our recycling targets, whilst also helping to reduce emissions. So we're investing $78 million in the Net Zero Organics program to support councils, businesses, institutions and charities to deliver on commitments to halve organics waste to landfill by 2030. The program includes the $46 million GoFogo grants for councils. Lovely to hear, Natalia, that you're part of this. We've had 2 rounds already, and we're now supporting food organics and garden organics services in 19 more council areas, bringing the total in New South Wales to 61. And that number, of course, will only grow. By 2027, the funding will deliver new services to 2 million people, and that's going to divert 500,000 tonnes of FOGO waste from landfill per year. And on the ground, we're seeing really positive results that this new service is giving local councils. If we take Randwick Council as an example, in the first 18 months of FOGO services being introduced, it prevented more than 26,000 tonnes of food and garden waste going to landfill. So that was the equivalent of taking 9,000 cars off the road and an estimated saving in costs of $1 million. Lake Macquarie has diverted 200,000 tonnes of FOGO from landfill in the 5 years that they've had the service and saved about $28 million in levy costs. So there's some good economics there. FOGO is going to be the most significant change to curbside services since the introduction of the yellow bin a generation ago. And it's not, we're aware of the challenges. We know some of this isn't easy, and we know that there are some challenges sometimes in implementation. We're working hard on this, but we know from the experience of our partners and lessons learned that it can be done really well. Transitioning to FOGO is one of those things that we need to do as a society to reduce our emissions, like I said, improve the way we manage resources and create those opportunities for the waste industry and for councils. At the EPA, we've recognised that there's probably some more support that we need to do. We've increased the size of the team that looks after FOGO, and we really acknowledge that each change process that has to happen within the council has to be bespoke, it has to be tailored to your community. So we're really here to support you through that process. I'm very keen to talk to councils about the support they're getting. If there's anything more that we can do, we really want to be here to help and ensure success. Next up is bin trim. You might have heard about this in some of the talks as well this week. So the Bin Trim Networks program is another great initiative aimed at assisting businesses to avoid generating waste and to move to a circular economy business model. So bin trim is establishing or enhancing circular economy networks where member businesses have commonalities relating to location, supply chain, industry sector or specific waste materials. So grant funds support network facilitators to manage the network and support collaboration, capacity building and information sharing. So $6 million of grant funding has already been awarded to 14 projects, which will help about 4,000 businesses to reduce their waste by 35,000 tonnes per year. Thanks to North East Waste, who we heard earlier in the week, and the Bin Trim grant, 100 cafes, including Shiny Brew in Kingscliff, have helped reduce their waste being sent to landfill. So this was achieved through providing cafes with effective food waste solutions and waste avoidance information, whilst also building capacity across supply chains and businesses. So how it worked was that an assessor visited Shiny Brew Cafe to estimate the volumes of material in the bins and provide a tailored action plan to reduce the amount of waste going to landfill. The business received a free 240-litre green bin from their council. The collection fees were waived for the first year, while bin stickers helped engage and encourage customers to separate their waste. So thanks to this project, Shiny Brew diverted approximately 20,000 litres of food from landfill in its first year. So it also helped foster improved service delivery and lower costs for North East Waste and member councils. So it's a story that's repeated at more than 38,000 small businesses across New South Wales and is just one example of how the Bin Trim Networks program is helping businesses, councils and waste service providers transition to circularity. Our goals in improving waste and resource management really require change at every point in the supply chain. This is something that we recognise. So be it through waste avoidance, different collection systems, infrastructure, education or end markets. So for example, we're working across government with our mother agency in New South Wales to provide input into programs to support government agencies increase their procurement of recycled materials. Activities include a directory of recycled material suppliers, environmentally sustainable procurement guidance and funding to support government agencies change their procurement practices. So we know there's a lot more to do to address end waste solutions. It continues to be a focus for our team and in partnering with you to really work through where that takes us. We are making, in the EPA, we're taking a much more holistic view of waste. I don't think we're there yet, and we would acknowledge that, but really that's where we want to go. And I think the effort we are putting in now to really look at how we sort of get every part of that supply chain, every part where we can influence, every part where we can have a role to play as government, that's sort of where we're looking to be heading in this space. And really building on the incredible programs that we've been delivering over the last number of years. So that is really it from me. There are a whole bunch of other programs that we do deliver. These are the highlights. So I wanted to thank you for your time this morning. I know it's a bit dusty coming up off the event last night. I was going to say actually that I think an amazing conference can be determined by how quickly people get on the dance floor after dinner. And at this conference, everyone was on that dance floor really quickly. So I think the level of engagement is quite amazing. But from my end, really, this is an invitation for engagement with you. So if there's anything that we can do, anything that we can be supporting you on, anything where you'd like to give us some advice about how we can really sort of tailor something to your specific needs and sort of better understand your businesses, please let us know. We are here to support, and thank you for your time.